A very good morning to you all and welcome to a new daily market outlook. In today's market outlook, we're going to be discussing the major dollar movements that we've been seeing since last night, and we're going to be discussing gold. So let's dive straight in. Before we dive in though, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel. And without further ado, let's now dive straight in. To begin with, of course, the dollar. So the dollar has been moving further up in towards the highs in line with our expectations. For now, I'm just targeting this swing high of 96.938. In my opinion, that is the next high which is going to get reached. And at a certain point in time, I do think we are going to breach this area of weekly supply. As we can see yesterday during, or was it prior to FOMC or during FOMC, we can see that we came in towards our area of supply over here, saw that massive bearish reaction from it before just pumping through it. So the dollar is just extremely bullish also fundamentally. So let's see if we can now just take out this high as soon as possible and see if we can after that gain another pullback and then once again look for longs from our areas of demand, which will in the future be over here and over here, because this is now a zone which has been taken out. So for now, just waiting for a new higher high to be formed. Once a new higher high is formed, what do we expect? We expect a pullback. And once that pullback starts to occur, I will be looking for pullbacks in towards these areas of demand. But for now, just waiting for a bullish and a higher dollar breaking structure over here. So let's head over to our first pair, which is Aussie dollar. And Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar has been moving beautifully in line pretty much with our expectation. Of course, in line with that 4-hour bearish structure. I wouldn't say hoping, but expecting as well maybe that we were going to see a little bit of a push up higher. However, this supply zone was apparently strong enough to do so. We had some liquidation on this swing high over here, and after that, the major drop in towards the downside. So currently, what have we seen? We've seen a 4-hour break of structure over here. And what do we expect after break of structure? We expect a pullback. So where are we going to be expecting a pullback from? Well, looking to our bottom left over here, we can then try and find nice areas of demand. So there aren't really any, I would say, perfect areas of demand. I would say this is probably an area of demand and this one over here, which aren't my two favorite. So Aussie dollar still has some room to fall down lower in towards these areas of demand from where we can look for those potential pullback plays. However, what I'll be doing is I'll just simply be waiting once again for an Aussie dollar pullback in towards my 4-hour sell zone, which is over here. And yeah, I'll just be waiting for a nice pullback into there. Also at very good value. Let's say we were to start pulling back now, you can then see that we at least are going to hit that 50% mark if we tap in towards this supply zone. So high probability shorts from here in line with the weekly, the daily and the 4-hour trend. So that's what I'm currently just waiting for a pullback on Aussie dollar. So with that said, let's head over to euro dollar. And euro dollar. So euro dollar is currently located inside an area of some demand. It's not very strong demand in my opinion. Looking at the daily, you can see that it's a daily area of demand as well, located over here. But once again, I'm not a very big fan of it. Why? Well, because the daily is bearish. So what do you expect? You expect this low over here to get taken out, right? So this is your strong high, which you expect to get respected. This is your weak low, which you essentially expect to get run. And with run, I mean to get broken. So for now, I am anticipating on a further push down on the dollar. Just quickly diving in towards the weekly as well. What we can clearly see on the weekly is that this area of demand is very likely to fill, in my opinion. And we are soon going to see that 1.10 level on euro dollar, in my opinion, on the weekly. Just purely because of how bearish this weekly currently is and there not being a lot of demand left inside of here. We do have some demand inside this wick over here. However, this is not a very strong and yeah, not even comparable to this zone. So I'll just be waiting on the weekly for this area of demand to get hit. Quickly diving back in towards the daily. So we know that we're expecting further downside from euro dollar after seeing that beautiful pullback in towards the 50% mark. We've essentially been waiting for this for such a long time now. So it's really nice to see, essentially what we anticipated now playing out. Diving in towards the 4-hour again, we can clearly see we had a 4-hour break of structure. We're currently inside this kind of extreme area of demand. What I'm currently waiting for is a pullback. However, where's that pullback going to come from? I do not really know. So I'm just going to be waiting for that pullback. Once that pullback occurs, we can then pretty much just look for further shorting opportunities from, let's say, this area of supply in line with that strong bearish momentum. If your dollar just keeps on pushing downwards, I'll just leave it for what it is, and I will just be waiting for a pullback in towards an area of supply. So yeah, that is that for your dollar. Let's head over to pound dollar. So I'm a big fan of pound dollar. Why? Well, because we've been calling this bearishness from pound dollar essentially all the way from the top over here. You can watch my market outlooks videos back from, I think, a week, last week. So what we can see is that we're just moving in alignment with the downward trend. Not really enough of a pullback in towards the supply zone, sadly for me. However, what does this mean for pound dollar? So pound dollar has currently broken this low after forming a pullback once again. So what does this mean? This means that we have a supply zone. Supply is located over here, so I'll now be waiting for a pound dollar pullback before looking to get involved with a further short in towards the downside, which is in alignment with the overall daily trend. As we can see, what a beautiful daily trend we have. Beautiful pullback in towards that area of refined daily supply, and yeah, since then just be moving down lower. Soon we are going to get in towards this area of some weekly demand, which we have over here. Not a very strong area of weekly demand, but it could cause a substantial reaction. So just keep that in mind when trading. So yeah, what I'm essentially just going to be looking for is potentially a pullback on the lower time frame before trading it further with the trend in towards that weekly area of demand. Daily refined demand is located over here. You could also adjust it to this sell candle over here, but essentially, yeah, the more refined, the better your position will essentially be. But for now, just expecting a potential lower time frame pullback to then trade pound dollar further in alignment with the higher time frame trend in towards the downside. So let's head over to Kiwi dollar. And Kiwi dollar, so Kiwi dollar is a little bit of a madman. It's just been falling. Quickly diving in towards the daily, we've now seen a daily break of structure, of course, a few days ago. What I'm anticipating on now is a potential pullback from this area of demand. However, as we can clearly see, it's not fresh anymore, so it's not that strong. I'm expecting at least this low over here to get taken out at 0.65894. Deeper push in towards supply at least, and then hopefully see a pullback. I would love to see a pullback, in alignment with the overall trend. We have a beautiful daily area of supply over here and over here. So if we were to see a pullback on Kiwi dollar, these are the two areas that I would like to be shorting from. Look, at the moment, we're just in a tricky market due to these overextended massive moves, right? Do I want to be shorting from here? No, especially not after such a long move, because if you just visualize this in a trend, you would essentially be shorting over here, right? And after a break of structure, what do you expect? You expect a pullback because price isn't going to fall forever. So shorting from here is a very bad option. Could you go long from here? Yes, however, you are trading against the trend, and that is always just going to be a little bit more risky. So for me, I'm just sitting on my hands, just waiting for higher time frame zones to get hit. I would love for the 4 hour to make a pullback at least in towards this zone, and then I'll be looking for some big shorts. In the meantime, we could expect just a simple pullback in towards here as the momentum is very strong. So just keep that in mind, that if we see a pullback, this is already enough of a pullback to start looking for potential shorts due to the high momentum that these dollar pairs are having at the moment. So let's head over to our last pair, which is gold. And gold, so gold has been moving very nicely in towards this area of demand now on the daily. So the daily is still bullish. 4 hour has flipped bearish though. So after breaking this low over here, 4 hour has now flipped bearish. I am expecting a pullback soon from gold, as of course we don't expect gold to just fall forever. So I'll be waiting for that. Quickly going back towards the daily, we're in a nice area of daily demand over here. So essentially I am expecting some kind of a reaction, back up higher potentially. What we could also do is potentially see close below this low and then kind of see a pullback, kind of like a liquidity grab underneath that low. Maybe see like a pullback in towards here before looking for the downside. However, gold is a little bit messy still in my opinion, but what I really like about gold is, in the way that it visualizes something really nicely. And that is the fact that after consolidation, you will always see massive moves. So you had consolidation, you then have kind of like the fake out in towards supply over here, and then you got the massive drop down. So just beautiful, beautiful price action overall. But for now, essentially 4 hours flipped bearish after breaking this low. What do we expect after break of structure? We expect a pullback. So I'll just be waiting for that pullback. Not getting engaged with gold at the moment. You could start buying, but I prefer to trade it in alignment with the 4 hour and the daily trend, And if you were buying from here, you would only be trading in alignment with the daily trend, not with the 4-hour. So I'll just be sitting on my hands gold wise. So yeah, that's all for today. My main focus for today is going to be on yen pairs and euro pairs. So with that said, I wish you all a fantastic day. And if you need anything trading wise, just make sure to reach out to me in the Discord community. Free server is in the description down below, the link to it. Thanks, guys.